Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Aspire to Inspire, where we interview industry professionals. Nonetheless, today is a very special day because I get to have a wonderful conversation with the beautiful and talented Taja Simpson. Let me just read her bio for you guys and highlight some of her credits so that you guys can get a gist of who she is and all the amazing accolades that she has under her belt. So, Taja Simpson is an actor, director, producer, keynote speaker, best-selling author, entrepreneur, and studio owner. As a four-time award-winning actor, she has over 20 years of experience in the acting world and with more than 60 credits in TV and film. Perhaps best known for her role in playing Priscilla Owen in over 100 episodes of BET's Tyler Perry's The Office. Nonetheless, she has guest starred in multiple roles on some of the most popular television shows of our time. To name a few, she has starred in NBC's Found, Star's Hometown, Hightown, my apologies, HBO's Insecure, Lola 2, Grey's Anatomy, and NCIS. She is a businesswoman and entrepreneur, and nonetheless, I must add, the founder of the Working Actors Academy, which is an amazing acting school for people who want to emerge in the business of acting and to build their portfolio to be an official working actor. All this to say, I'm going to bring Taja to our stage, and honestly, I'm going to let her speak for herself. Taja, how are you doing today?
Hi! Oh my goodness, I'm great. I'm happy. I'm able to do this interview with you. I adore what you're doing. I absolutely love Aspire to Inspire, just the platform as a whole and what it stands for and what it means. So I'm really honored to be a guest. So thank you for having me, Amaje.
Of course. I could have thought of a better person to have on this platform and to know you and to have grown
Mm.
alongside with you. I'm
Mm.
upset it wasn't sooner. That's the only disclaimer. I'm just
Right, right,
upset it
right.
wasn't sooner, but everything works in timing. But
Yes.
nonetheless, I want to have the opportunity to ask the first question in terms of everything I stated in your bio. I want to take it back to the beginning. Please share with us how you got the acting bug. Where did it initially start for you to want to pursue this now career of
Mhm.
being a working actor and evolving to director, producer, and so much more?
Wow. Okay. That's not loaded at all. All right. Get into this thing. No. Okay. So it started for me just as a young kid. I used to play pretend with my cousins. We didn't really know it was called acting. We would just act out different movies. And the movie in particular that we loved was Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. And I, to this day, still know almost every scene verbatim because we did it every single day in the summer. It was like our thing to do. Like, oh, let's play pretend. Like, oh, okay, good. We put it in and we, act everything out. And then we did that with music too. Like we would, I don't know, we just had this, when you're a kid, your memorization is like quick. We would learn songs and then we would play. I don't even know what we called it, but whatever the last line was that somebody said just in regular everyday life, we would have to follow
Yeah.
it up with a song, right? And so
Right.
that would just go on like all day, all day, all day. So that's where it started. I didn't really know that I was becoming characters and I don't know, all the things that we know now as being an actor. It wasn't until I graduated college, and it's always been like on me. It was like this little birdie on my shoulder being like, hey, you should try this. You should try this. But I'm like, I don't know how to act. Like, this is weird. I don't know how to do that. And so finally, when I graduated college, my degree was in broadcast journalism, mass communication with an emphasis in broadcast journalism. And I decided to just take a stab at it. And I took some different classes. And I did great in them. And I won all these awards. And at the end, we had a big showcase, and I won People's Choice. I won Best Scene. I won Best Actress. And I was the first person in this little class structure it was a casting director workshop at the time. And it was the first time that one person that he had been doing this for like 20 years had ever won 3. And so it was like a really big deal, but I didn't invite anyone to the showcase because I was so nervous and I didn't really know, I didn't know what I was doing. And then I was like, oh no, I had this amazing experience and no one's here to support me, And I was just too shy, believe it or not. I still get shy sometimes, okay? Whatever. And so
That's cap. But okay.
I have moments,
That's
okay?
cap.
Oh my God, that's funny. That's why I had to say it like that, because my husband would be like, whatever. But I do. There are moments. There are, little glimmers here and there.
Of course, you're human. You're
No, I'm
human.
human. Right. No. So, so from there, I kept taking different classes and things like that. And this was all before I moved to LA. And then once I got to LA, I got into an agent workshop. And, back then, workshops were like the thing to do. That's how you got in front of people. I mean, people still do it now, but it was really the thing to do back then until people started just ripping people off by doing it. But back then it was like done properly, honestly, with integrity. And out of 51 or 52 people that this agent saw, I was the only person that he wanted to sign. And so within 6 months of being here, I got an agent. And then it was like a slow and steady roll of like building this now career that I have. So that's kind of how I got it started. But when you realize how slow everything can move for you, you realize relationship capital is the thing. You realize you're meeting so many different people along the way, and all of that's great, but you're still trying to go up the ladder. And sometimes the moves are very lateral, but you're trying to go upward. And so that's when I started working with people around me, and started creating productions and doing different things. And so that's how I got into directing and producing and writing and stuff like that. I was a member of West Angeles Church of God in Christ. And I was there for like 12 years, and I ran the theater, the drama ministry, the Delivering Righteous Anointed Ministry through Arts ministry, drama. So I did that for 12 years. And by doing that, that's where I learned more about theater and stage left and stage right. I learned more about character development. I learned, when I say learned, and taught about casting. I taught people, and then I directed, because who was going to direct the play? So it was just like I kind of got thrust into this, but then I fell in love with it, and then I wanted to learn as much as I can. And so we created it, and I kind of ran it like a school, if you will, and like a real. We would do castings every time we had. It wasn't just like, oh, you're gonna play this role. Everyone had to audition. We ran it just like a real thing. So that way you go out into the world, you have experience. You need a real world experience. And we were all in church. Like, how do we get experience if the majority of the people didn't have agents? But when God calls and says, hey, I got this opportunity, you have to be ready. So my goal was to make sure everybody was ready. So we did like sitcom series where we would film the intro, and the intro would show when we would perform. The intro would come on first, and then the play would start. Like, I did all these things and it was just my passion. So that's how funny, I haven't thought about that in years, but that's how it all started, and kind of got going. And so that's how, I guess you say, that led to the studio, right? Because it's like you want to do and build and create your own content, because content is king. And that's the long version of your really
long and
question.
Meaningful. Long and meaningful. And the reason I ask, it's beautiful because, mind you, I've known you for some time. And it's beautiful to hear yet again how you got your start. And in addition to hearing new nuances that I didn't know of.
Right.
As an actor, I got started in church plays. Like, that's where it started for me. And I was able to do a lot of community work within church communities, but that's kind of reflecting and looking back, it's always nice to be reminded of where you were versus where you are. So going down memory lane, it's a beautiful reminder to kind of see how the little things, I hate to say little, but then those things that you were doing in terms of teaching people about casting and teaching people about how to do this, and this is the standard if you want to get to X, Y, and Z. You are in that scenario where you can do that officially and know what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I love those long-winded answers, especially starting off strong, because you really get a gist of the person's their mindset and how they think. And you have a business mindset, and that, knowing you, and it's kind of amazing to sit back and be like, wow, she knows what she's talking about. You know what I mean?
Thanks, darling.
Of course. But honestly, oh my gosh, I love asking people how they get their start. All that to say, it's reflecting. It's a moment of just like, wow, like, look at this tremendous amount of growth in this individual, and it's so inspiring, nonetheless.
Right.
Inspiring.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. And with my follow-up question to that, in the business and in the industry, there is a lot of misconceptions about being an actor or how this business is run. Could you tell me one of the biggest misconceptions someone may have expressed to you in terms of what you do in this industry and debunk it
Hmm.
and just talk about the truth that's behind it? General question, but there's just a lot of
Misconception.
misconceptions.
I don't know. Give me an example. Nothing's coming in mind. I'm sure there's plenty,
Yeah,
but
of course. But in terms of acting, it's consistent. You know, once you've had one project.
Sorry. Oh,
Right.
sorry.
No,
That took
you're
me out.
good. You're
Oh,
good.
that
You're
was good.
good.
That was perfect. Yeah, in terms of acting, it's consistent. Oh, hilarious. Oh gosh, there's so many. Okay, let me think. The biggest a misconception. Um, the money always comes, right? Let's see, misconception. Shoot, I don't know. Everything. I'm like, these are misconceptions. Like everything is that people say is wrong. Like,
Right,
so
right,
I
right.
don't know. Let's see. Let's talk about, we're talking about casting. Let's see what comes to mind.
Maybe in
Don't be
terms
yourself.
of, oh, okay.
Don't,
Okay.
oh, okay, here's one. Here's a good one. Thank you, Holy Spirit. It just came to me. So give the casting director what you think they want. I think that's the biggest misconception. That's so good. Ooh, thank you. He just dropped that in. Thank you. That's so good because that's not true. I literally just saw something not too long ago of a casting director. I want to say I reposted it. And she was like, we want to see what you bring to it. Don't do what you think we want. That's what everyone does, right? Everyone, when they do their auditions, they do things that they think is going to be, it's going to be the choice. This is probably what they want. I'm going to give them this. I'm going to do this. But then you end up falling in a box with everyone else who's doing the exact same thing. The thing about casting is you have to bring you to it. Like, what are you doing to it? Like, what are you doing in this space for this character that makes me want to just lean in and watch you and be like, ooh, that's a good choice, right? We can't feel you're trying to make a good choice. It just has to innately be a good choice. Dominic Fishback put out her audition for one of the movies. I think which I forget which movie it was. I believe it's one with Jamie Foxx, but I'm not sure. But she put out this thing and went viral, and it was a big deal because when she was doing, and she was telling the story too, I think on a SAG platform, but she had a necklace on. And she was moving the necklace back and forth in the scene, and she was just
Oh,
doing. You remember this? And
yes.
she was
The
just like,
hate
"Yeah,
you
whatever."
give.
The hate
The
you
hate
give, and she
you
was just like
give.
doing whatever, and she was just like had this little necklace thing. She's like, but she made it a part of it because her acting teacher would be like, okay, you got that, okay, you got it. Now what's a part of you that you can bring to it, right? And so that's when she went back and looked at it, it was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. So she had a little necklace and did the thing, whatever, did her scene. It was done so naturally and so organically that's when she showed up for her fitting. Wardrobe was like, oh, casting told us to make sure you have a necklace. So which one of these necklaces would you like? And so it was like, oh wow, but that was her choice. That wasn't something that was scripted. That wasn't something that was on the actions of like, and then she played with her necklace while she said her, like, no, this is just something that she did. And she sat back and she was just like, whatever the lines are, whatever, she's doing her thing and she's kind of fidgeting with and playing with it, but it's not distracting, right? She made it a choice and made it a part of her character. That's very different. And she booked it, right? And they made sure if they loved the necklace thing too much to the point where they wanted her to do it, and she did it, when she filmed. So I would say that's a really good one. I think that's a big misconception, is that you have to still bring you to it. You have to still bring whatever it is that makes you, that makes you want to do this. Because just recently we were casting for this Christmas movie that I produced, and I gotta tell you, the people who made it their own, the people who did that little something, they always made it into the next level. It was just like, oh, that. But if you're doing the exact same thing like everybody else, it's just like, oh, okay. It's cool because you get the interpretation of the writing, and that's great, but that's also a part of your job. That's also a part of your job as the actor. It's to understand the tone, to get to know what to do in this scene, right? Cool.
Right.
But that's just like learning your lines. That's the prerequisite. You don't get an applause because you did your job. It's the person who shows up for their job, that goes the extra mile at their job, that makes them stand out. That's like, we got to give it to such and such because such and such really always did a great job at their job. You know what I mean? So it's that thing that actors, I think, really need to understand really need to take a moment, because sometimes you get so many auditions and life is lifing and you're like, oh, I got to figure out how to get this audition done. I got to go to work. I got this. I got to study. Or if you're a mom, I got the baby. I got my husband. I got to cook. I got to clean. I got to all these things. And you're trying to figure out how to create this artistic space in your life.
Yeah.
That's my life right now. But now I felt myself being like, okay, I got this audition. Like, oh my God. Okay. How am I gonna, okay. Where is the time? I'm exhausted. And then I had to take a moment and breathe, right? This is my suggestion. You're in this space, you have to take a moment, take a step back. For me, I take a few deep breaths and I start to live in gratitude. Because although my life has a lot going on right now, this is the opportunity. This is my passion. This is what I love. This gets me into a space where I get to create and do things that I can't help the timing when it came. I can't help that. I got to go pick up, I got to fly out. I'm doing this. I'm traveling. I got to do it before I go to the airport, whatever it is. Take a moment and carve out the time and space for this, because all of that energy shows in your audition and you're not going to book it. The ones that I'm like, let me just try to get this done real quick. It's whatever. Like, I don't really book those, but the ones that I actually take my time and set my intention, get it every time. So it's that kind of thing that I would want to say to everyone is that's the biggest misconception. Still bring you to it. Right. Still bring you to the role, and let that shine, and so that you can have a better opportunity to book that job.
Oh, such great advice. What are we, like 15 minutes in? Like, goodness gracious, dropping gems
Great.
left and right. This is what you do.
Yay.
So I can't expect nothing less.
I love it.
But oh my goodness. Yes. No, just in being intentional. There's power in being intentional, and also breathing, taking a deep breath and taking a step back, because life be life, and that's okay. But in those moments of taking a step back and knowing why you love what you do and that this is what you love to do, you take an intentional type of approach. So thank you so much for stating that. I believe that in my spirit, and definitely had to give you your accolades for sharing such a meaningful part that people, actors, I'll call us out as actors, tend to sometimes forget. So thank you so much for sharing that. Oh my goodness. The next question I kind of have is just I feel like this is more of a mindset question for you. And the question states, in terms of the overnight success of an actor and understanding how you have to build yourself and build your portfolio to get the role or to get the job, to evolve from co-star to guest star to series regular, in a sense. Many people believe that this career can be an overnight success because they see all the awards and they see you working on television. But personally for you, what was your transition from verbally saying, okay, I'm an aspiring actor, to officially being on set, auditioning, working, and being, okay, yes, I am a working actor? That transition like for you?
Okay. So I can say this in hindsight, right? So I want you guys to take this away from now. It's a mindset shift. You saying I'm an aspiring actor is constantly putting yourself in this space of being an aspiring actor. I call that like being on the little rat circle, little rat race, and they're just kind of going around.
Yeah, the little gerbil wheel.
Yeah, the little gerbil wheel. Thank you. Like that little thing, like that's you aspiring. I believe words have power, right? And in believing that and knowing that words have power, you have to speak life over your life. You have to declare and decree what it is that thing is that you desire. So if you constantly say, I'm an aspiring writer, I'm an aspiring actor, I'm an aspiring whatever, then you're just going to live in that space. So there's power in I am. So for me, I had to start saying, I am a working actor. I am a series regular. That's what shifted for me. Once I shifted in that headspace, I would say, oh, I'm so grateful I don't have to work another job. Like acting pays for my entire life. And I'm so grateful. I just love that I can get up and do whatever it is that I desire every day. And money constantly flows from residuals all the time. Like money is so attracted to me. It loves me. It adores me. It appreciates me. It values me. It's at my command. When I tell money to move, it moves. And so it is. Like these are the different things that I had to get to the mindset of to shift. Because when I was in the space of going from booking a bunch of co-stars, and I was super excited because I'm on all these different sets. And I'm, when you show up, you like, you're like a piece of this
I
pie.
made
You're a piece of this
it.
puzzle, right? Like I made it. This show, that show, all these different shows. And it got to the point where my team was like, well, we got to get you some guest stars. It's time to like level up. And I'm like, cool. But see, when you level up, you're going up against previous series regulars,
Mm-hmm.
right? Series regulars who on shows or maybe who have been on shows, so they have a much more extensive resume than you. So now you're like this small fish in this big pond. Now you if you keep taking the smaller roles, then you're going to stay in that smaller role space. You have to
Hmm.
then allow yourself to go up, and not only from a mental standpoint but also a financial standpoint, because if casting can always see what's the last thing you got paid, because it's fair game in SAG. So if they see like, oh, you just did this role for only that amount, cool, I can lowball her and cast her and only pay her this. But it's like, no, I want to be a guest star and I want to get the guest star rate. And so it's a whole other business side of it that goes into why you stop taking get co-stars, right? But for those, if those who are listening, co-stars is going to be those typical, like, I don't know, 5 lines and below, maybe
Right.
one page. A guest star is going to be those roles that people, they are guest starring for that particular episode. So typically the storyline may be about you, so you're going to be throughout that episode. So that's a big jump. That's a big difference. But casting has to always also know that they can trust you in this role with this amount of dialogue, with these amount of days of work, with this character arc. Like that's a different thing. Once I
Yeah.
transitioned there, I was like, okay. I remember there was a show that they really wanted me for, and we weren't doing co-stars anymore. It was a guest star spot, but they only had co-star pay.
Mm.
And so my team was like, well, if we take it, it's gonna be, I think you have to just make the decision if you want to do it. And I'm just like, it's gonna be your quote. It's gonna be the last quote that's gonna be out there for you. And I'm like, but I really want to do it. I really want to do it. So I did it. I was like, because the money for me is like, it'll come. But at the same time, the team is like, yeah, but you want to make sure your quote's always good so your quote can get better. And I'm like, I get that. However, I want to do the job. So I did it. And it was a great experience. But then from there, that's when I was like, you know what? You don't, and what I've learned now is that you don't necessarily have to go from, I'm going to go from a 5 and under 5, to a co-star, to a guest star, to a series regular. Yeah, that's typically the route. But you can also go straight to a series regular. You can also be great just to get booked nothing but guest stars. Like it's a mindset shift. Like you have to shift it. You have to shift in your mind. Like that's what it is you desire. So for me, the next thing, I've done my own show that comes out. It comes out in the beginning of next year. So I'm gonna put that out there. It's called Jupiter Jones. Yep, she's Jupiter Jones. Super excited about that. But the next thing is like, I want to do more of my own shows. You know what I mean? And that one's going to be on either All Black or AMC. AMC owns All Black, so they're trying to decide which
Yes.
platform they're going to put it on, which is like, yay, super great.
Awesome.
So it's just one of those things that for me, I believe that I now know that's really allowed me to really catapult and jump is your mindset. You change your mind, you change
Mm.
your life, and it's just that simple.
Yes, I love it. In your bio that I forgot to mention, down in the bottom, you have this mantra, and I think about it still to this day: believe, evolve, and become.
Become, that's it.
Yeah, yeah. That
Yeah.
triggered my brain. I remember, oh man, I remember just, it speaks so much volumes in terms of when actors answer that question. Very rarely do I hear or do people verbalize the shift within the mind before the actions that you need to do to get to X, Y, and Z. And it
Hmm.
ultimately brings to the picture that before you can make the action or before you can make the step, it comes to you and your mind and that decision
Right.
you make to yourself. So thank
Hmm.
you so much for just understanding and living out what it verbally or visually looks like to make that mind shift and for it to work in your favor. I mean,
Yeah.
what you're doing today is not in vain. That's because you made a shift within yourself and in your mindset for you to
Exactly.
receive what's for you today.
Yeah.
So you're preaching. I appreciate that. Thank you
Ding,
so much.
ding,
Snap,
ding, ding,
snap,
ding.
snap, snap,
Yes,
snaps. Yes. Oh
snap.
my goodness. One thing I do want to ask you,
Uh-huh.
because you are truly, truly, truly about character development and
Hmm.
understanding what does it take to, I don't want to say make strong choices, put yourself within the scene, but also bring what's in the sides or bring what's in the script to life.
Mhm.
So my question is, in terms of all the roles that you've played thus far, is there a
Okay.
particular role that just stands out to you and resonates with you so much? And what was the process of bringing that said character of your choice, of course, to life?
Mhm. Okay, so there's two that come to mind, right? There's Lola, the boxer, because that was the first time I had to do not only my extensive work that I do in my pre-production to prepare for the character, but I also had to learn how to box. I also had to learn a whole new skill set, right?
Right.
So that was tough. Um, but it was also a dream of mine. It was also the biggest goal of mine. It was, always wanted to play a boxer. I've always wanted to learn how to do it. I've always wanted to be in a role that allowed me to do this big physicality, type role, or train for something, as well as incorporate all of that and still be this particular character. So Lola is always, she's forever going to be my love in that space, because of all of the hard work that it took to do that. And we did Lola 1 and Lola 2. And Lola, when it came out, it was the first of its kind in such a long, long time. It premiered on All Black, and it was number one for a while. It did very well on there. Now it's on multiple platforms, and 1 and 2. And that was just like a little independent film that now the backstory of that, which I think is interesting, is so I did this short film called Intercept, and it was about this girl who was preparing her life, preparing to hang herself. She wanted to end her life, right? And in this short film, she was going through and she was putting people's names on different things, like she had prepared her life for this. Well, that film did really well, and it won all these different awards, and that's how I ended up winning like 4 different Best Actress awards from all these different film festivals from all over. One including Bronze Lens. Bronze Lens is an Academy Award winning qualifying festival. You have to, if you win at you win there, then now your movie can then be qualified to be submitted to an Academy Award. So it did well there, so it's like all these different things. Well, one of the film festivals that I won was called Validate Yourself. And the producer director who ran it also produced and directed and wrote Lola. And he saw me in that and was like, oh man, that's my Lola. I want her to play Lola. Make a long story short, I get a call, I get an email, and I'm like, wait, what? Is this real? I'm like, just getting an offer? Like, what? So we get on the phone. I send me a script. I get on the phone. We talk about. I'm like, yeah, I want to do this. This seems wonderful. Okay, great. And then later on, I found out that his producers that he had set up pulled out because they wanted him to cast a lighter skinned woman as the lead. They didn't want him to cast a dark skinned lead. And he was like, oh, I'm not doing it. This is my girl. So then he ended up footing the bill. Such a beautiful story in the end. He ended up, I want to say the story goes like he put stuff on credit cards and all these things. I didn't know anything about this. And the movie went on, it did well and all these things, but he stuck to his guns. And so I never had anyone do anything like that for me as it relates to film, right? Typically as a producer, as a writer, director, or creative, if your producer say, we want this kind of person, that's what you go get that person so you can make your movie. But the fact that he stuck to his guns and did that for me was like, wow, thank you. So Lola always has like the biggest special place in my heart for that particular question. And then the second one would be Cheyenne. And Cheyenne was from Insecure. So Cheyenne, I love her because, first of all, if you get to know me, like I'm funny. Like, I don't know. I'm like situational type funny. I'm not like a comedian funny where you put me on stage and I'm like, dun, dun. Like that's
situational. Situational is very specific.
There you go. Situational comedy. Okay, I'm a sitcom.
I love it.
So I loved her because this was a time that people could see me in a non-dramatic role, because a lot of the things that I do is drama, although I do comedy at the same time, but a lot of other sitcom type things, pun intended. And so here it is. I got this opportunity to do this role, and I was like, oh my God, I love this show. Let me tell you something. I set my intention for this. I was like, it's mine. I booked it. I did my whole like normal Taja realm of like mentally doing it. My boyfriend at the time, we were in New York, and I was like, babe, so I need you to read this audition with me, but here's the thing. I'm going to need you to like maybe give me some, this may sound weird, but give me like some friend girl energy. Like I need, the scene was a bunch of girls like, what's up, bitch? Like I was like, so you can't be like, hey girl, what's up? Babe, I'm gonna need you to be like, hey, give me a little, hey girl, like just give me a little, give me something. We gotta book this, okay?
Spruce it up a bit.
So he
Do
was
a little
like,
improv
okay,
for me.
Give me a little something. So we did the scene, did it, sent it in. I booked it, and everywhere I went, where it was makeup, it was hair, it was wardrobe, everybody was like, oh my God, we loved your tape. Oh my God, we loved your tape. You're so funny. Oh my God. And I'm like, yes. And that was the time I did the audition and I put me on it, right? I was like, I'm about to just do me. She's funny. She's full of life. I'm about to this is what I'm doing. Booked it. And that particular role, I mean, truly catapulted because Cheyenne was the one, as we know, that robbed them. She was the one that I like to say was the catalyst that brought their friendship together because of the robbery. I'm the reason they're friends again, but whatever. Okay, I brought them back together.
I mean, you're not wrong. That's the funny part.
Right. Exactly. So I'm like, yeah. So that's the role that for me, that is because it's a comedy, because it's something that people hadn't seen me in. They all primarily see me in The Oval. Tyler Perry's The Oval on BET. Priscilla's very dramatic. It's a very dramatic show, So to go from that to, I love that, the feedback I was getting was like, wait, this is Priscilla? Wait, that's Priscilla? Wait, this is the girl that played Priscilla? And I'm like, thank you. Yeah, that's me, boo.
Oh my God, y'all, that was Cheyenne.
It's giving range. It's giving range.
But that's the best compliment for totally. Actors. Oh, the range and for people to just see that change from yes, drama, maybe your what your heart leans more into, but to also balance comedy. Like that's a give you your flowers, Picasso. I love it. But oh my goodness, I'm just reflecting on your Cheyenne as a whole and listening to you talk now.
Yeah.
I can really see. I mean, hey, again, you were intentional about it. You went a step further and told your then boyfriend, husband, be intentional with this with me. I'm gonna need you to give me more. And
okay.
Got you. I love that for you. I genuinely do. But oh my goodness, my other question that I have for you is.
Oh wait, hold on. Before you go there, here's what's funny about that character. So the last line that I say for Cheyenne is when I'm walking away. I do a little high kick and I walk away and I'm like, "Ain't shit changed, bitch," is the line, right? But the line was so funny that they loved it so much. They called me in to do ADR. They were like, "We just need this one line. We just need it real clear. This is the line. We want to make sure we get this line." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. So what's the line?" And they pull it up and it's like, "Ain't shit changed, bitch." Like that was the line. And they're like, "It's the line with the laughter. God. You got to do it with the laughter." So I'm like, "Okay, let me hear it again." When you do ADR, you got to get it perfect, Perfect, and I'm like, "Ain't shit." So I did that so many times. I did like maybe 5-6 times till we got it like on the money. With going into the same exact laughter. I'm like, I don't know what laughter I did. It was like, I don't know. It was right. So we did. It was funny. So the other day, my husband and I were in the house and we said something. I was like, man, I don't know. It's like, ain't shit changed? And we looked at each other and I was like, ain't shit changed, bitch. And then we did a whole thing. Like, it was just funny.
My God.
He's like, my husband doesn't think I'm funny, which is hilarious. So to me, I'm like, dude, I'm so fun. What are you talking about? So what do you mean you don't think I'm funny? This crazy to me, right? So, right. Always like, I mean, you have your moments. Okay, fine. So whenever a Cheyenne moment comes up, and I'll be like, he'd be like, all right, you was funny that one time. All right, fine, whatever.
No, not you funny that one time.
Whatever, honey.
Well, I think you're a comedian. I think you're beyond situation funny, even though I agree that I am much of a situation funny. But no, you have an amazing personality that is so infectious and it's so hilarious to listen to you embodies Cheyenne just for me on this
Cheyenne.
platform.
Right,
I
right.
love it. I feel
Hilarious.
so special. But
Yay.
at the same time, I mean, you've worked with, I mean, industry professionals, Hollywood A-listers, might I say, amazing directors and writers and producers, I'm sure. But if you could reflect and possibly look back at any particular moment with working with any of whom you choose, I mean, it's all up to you. And from that moment, or maybe it was just verbal confirmation or just a slight adjustment somebody gave you that you were allowed to take with you for the long run, that you still implement still to this day as a working actress. Can you reflect on a moment like that with your illustrious career?
Thank you, darling. So here's the thing that comes to mind. So I like to follow the spirit. Whatever drops in, I'm like, let me just say this versus me trying to be like, what's the most profound thing I could say in this moment? Because in my mind, I'm like, well, this is what you want me to say. I'm gonna say. So I did an episode of Lethal Weapon, and it has Dwayne Wayans in it, or had when the show was on, right? And so there was this scene where, you know, I pop up from behind the car and I'm talking about this motorcycle and blah, blah, blah. And I walk up, so I'm supposed to walk up all sexy and do this thing. And now, mind you, I'm in scenes with Dwayne Wayans. Like, he's funny. I grew up watching him on In Living Color. It's like, oh, so for me on the inside, it's like pop rock. Like, it's all on the inside, you know?
Right.
I'm super excited because I feel myself working my way up, right? To bigger roles, working alongside bigger name people, you know, because there's levels to co-stars. There's the co-star or guest star. There's the ones that, especially with co-star, there's the one that you're just in a cafe and you may be like, can I help you? Right? Or there may be the ones where you're actually opposite the lead character and you may have 2 or 3 scenes, but it's like you still have to have a strong presence to get that role. You got to be a little bit more seasoned for that role than it is to do the one that's like, what can I get you? Right? There's still levels to it. So I go up, we do this scene. I walk up to him and I'm ready. Let me tell you something. There's one thing about me. It does not matter who's on the other side of me. My goal is to work with Viola Davis because she is just everything to me. But it doesn't matter who's on the other side of me. I'm going to do my work. I'm going to be prepared. Like, your presence is not going to make me like wither. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, that's such and such. Oh my God. Sure. Before action. Like, oh my God, yo, when I get the role. But once I show up on set, baby, it's fair game. It's me and you. We in a scene together. We look like we go together. Because I'm on the same level as you. We same scene, action. What? I've been born for this. I'm made for this. This is the athlete inside of me that's like, this is what I've been praying for. You can't get to the point where this is what you've been praying for, and now you're nervous and you're too afraid to step into this blessing. Girl, step in it. Right?
Yes.
Sorry. I'm going off on a tangent. I'm excited. So
no, tangent was needed.
Okay. I walk up in this scene. I do my scene. I'm supposed to be like checking him out. I'm looking at him. I'm doing my different thing. I'm like, yeah, okay, you know, whatever. And so in the scene, he was like, I'm sorry. Can we do that again? I'm sorry. I say, hold on. Did I just break? Did Dwayne Wayans just, did he just break character for me? Okay, let's do it again. Okay. What? But in that moment, I was like, girl, you did that. Girl, that's what I'm talking about. Girl, you be ready. He wasn't ready. I said, oh, he wasn't ready for me to give it to him like I gave it to him. Oh, okay. And then that was my first time really meeting him and seeing him too. We didn't get a chance, obviously. At that level, you don't run your lines with them. They're on different, they get, you know, brought in. Okay, what's the scene? Great. I walk here. Great, cool. Hey, how you doing? Yeah. Hey. You know, so much going on.
Right.
That is what gave me even more confidence in my ability, because I was so confident in me. I was so comfortable in this role and this character, and to act opposite someone like that who was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, so let's just do this one more time, you know? And everybody kind of laughed, and one of the guys came up and was like, oh man, you made Dwayne Wayans break character. Oh man, okay. Like, you know, we laughed about it, and he and I laughed about it. It was a cool moment. You know, we took pictures after. It was like, oh, thanks, nice to meet you, blah, 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 whatever. Right. But that little moment is what gave me even more confidence. It's like, girl, you do this. You can do this. Keep believing in yourself. And that's where confidence and belief in you comes. It has to start within you. Like, no one else can give you that. Had I not shown up like that ready, I wouldn't have got that little extra boost. He wouldn't have done that, and that little extra boost wouldn't have came in. But I showed up ready. I showed up confident. I showed up prepared. And that's the one thing I would say on set in general is you have to be prepared. That's your one job. You got one job. You got one job. Is to show up and be prepared. Everyone will thank you. That's a whole nother question, but a topic, whatever. But you know what I mean? I'm just like that's the thing for me that really helps me. That was the moment on set that made me be like, you good.
Yeah. No, you got me excited now because you held off talking about being prepared on set, and it felt like in your spirit something was gonna come out. Were you gonna continue with that? Please
yeah, sure.
Don't stop.
So
please
don't stop. Okay. So yeah, I would say be prepared. That's the one thing that everyone would thank you for, because you have one job. You have one job to show up, be prepared, know your lines, know what you want to do, be present, be professional. You know what I mean? Like, people want to work with people that they like. Think about every job you've ever had in your life. If your boss came to you and was like, hey, we about to have an open position. If you know anybody, let me know. Yeah, sure. They still post the job, whatever it is, but your girl or your boy is going to be able to at least get the interview, because that's your relationship capital right there. That's just like, oh, I know somebody, boom, boom, boom. Same with acting. Same. It's the same thing. People want to work with people that they like, people that they know they can trust, people that they know is going to be able to do the job. So preparation is key. The producers are going to thank you. Writers, producers, the other actors in the scene are going to thank you. The crew is going to thank you. Like, everyone is like, oh, great. No one wants to be on a set where this actor doesn't know their lines, and it costs millions of dollars, or if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, to get to this one moment in time, and you don't know your lines. Child. that lives with you longer than what you would like. You know what I mean? Hey, what you know about? Oh man, shoot, such and such. Man, he was cool, but man, he didn't know his lines. Every day it was something. It was like, like you set production back, which means you're causing us to lose money, which means you probably won't be hired again by that producer, if not for a long time, because it's like, now you're causing me to lose money when you got one job. Imagine you show up on set and all these things have to fall into place. When we see these movies or TV shows and it's a magical scene, everything had to work perfectly. The lighting had to be good. The camera had to be zooming in just right? It couldn't get out of focus. If you get out of focus, we can't use that take. But while the camera's slowly zooming in, we're in focus. The actor's giving us that brilliant performance. They're crying. Everything is happening. Everything is wonderful. And then they share a kiss on screen, whatever it is, but everything has to work. Imagine you're in this space. Everything is working. And the actor's like, I'm sorry, cut. Line. What's the line? Ah!
Devastating.
What? You have to be prepared. I learned that day one. I moved to LA. I auditioned for a short film. It was called The Greater Ambition. I booked it, and I show up on set, and they were shooting the love scenes this day. So the lead character had a love scene in the movie with another girl and me, right? They weren't like nude scenes. They were just like in the bedroom or in the bed, whatever, love scenes, kind of like that. So when I get there for my call time, they are just breaking. They're super behind because the actress, which I don't like saying, that's what they call it. The female actor at the time, she was not, she just didn't want to do it. She signed up for it, but I don't know, it was whatever was happening. She didn't know her lines. It was like all this stuff. And so now they're super behind. And by the time I get there, crew is coming up to me and they're like, man, look, we got this. I know you got enough. I know we're doing this love scene, but man, can you please know your lines? Can you please just, there was one I was like, I know maybe out of line, but man, we so far behind because of this girl. And I'm just like, we got another one. I'm just like, if you could just, just be ready, that would be great. All right. And he just walked away. It was nothing personal. I don't even know his name. I don't even know if he knew mine. It was just like, oh, you the actress? Look, please. Like, we just, oh God. And I was just like, oh, okay. So I walk in, they finally finished her scene. She walks out, and then the director comes over and he's like, okay, Taja, how are you feeling? He's trying not to give me the energy from that room onto me. Right. And I'm like, oh, I'm good. What's going on? And he's like, well, we've had some delays, but if you're ready, we're ready for you. I'm like, yeah, let's do our rehearsal. So, we went through, we did everything and got back on track and made the day. And when it was over, crew was like, thank you, man. Thank you. Okay. It was no nudity. It wasn't even like, I think I showed my back or something, right? It was not there. Like,
Right.
it's nothing even, what's happening? So anyway, so I would just say, be prepared more than anything, because you
Mm,
literally have one job. You are a piece
mm,
of a puzzle, a piece. And if they can, they will recast you. If it's something where it's a big enough production, they got the money and they can recast you, oh, they absolutely will. Because you're costing them too much money. It's too much waste. You're wasting our money at this point. And no one,
mm.
no one no one's gonna let you do that. No one thinks you're not worth it. You're not worth the wasting of hundreds of thousands of dollars. I tell you right now. They're gonna let you go.
They gonna let you go. No,
They're
I
gonna
hear
let you
you. I
go.
hear you. These
You
are real
know?
life scenarios and
Mm-hmm.
situations that people may not know, and we as actors, that's why showing up matters. Prepared, being
Mm-hmm.
well over prepared matters so much, because you're going to advance everyone forward when you are already coming to set knowing what to do,
Yeah.
and you make everybody's lives easier. And once you make everybody's lives easier, they're going to want to work with you again because you made their lives
Mm-hmm.
easier. It's a full
Mm-hmm.
circle moment. But no,
Totally.
I appreciate that. I felt that in my spirit, because I was like, nope, she cut off too quick about being
I know.
on set. She's got something to say about that.
What
So
she want
thank
to
you.
say? Right. Yeah,
I
yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
that. But oh my goodness, few more questions. But oh my goodness,
Mm-hmm.
you spoke so highly of Viola Davis earlier, and I'm glad that name came out of your mouth, because as someone listening, I'm just like, I wonder, like, going toe to toe with Viola Davis. I can see Taja doing that. You know what I mean?
Let me
Just
tell you
like
something. I admire this woman so much. It's not even about
yeah.
the toe to toe. It's just the being in the same scene. It's just the scene that she and Kerry Washington did when they did those crossover shows,
Oh
and they were both
yes.
getting their hair done, and they were sitting there. I was like, like that. Like, she's just so brilliant. So I just want to.
Oh,
Can I be her like daughter, or her friend, or her assistant, or something? Like, can I be like, I don't
right.
know. I just. She's my Meryl Streep. Like, Meryl Streep is like, because she was first. Everybody knew her first, so you can't take Meryl down because Meryl was there first, right? It's like, ooh, Meryl Streep
Mm,
is still the Meryl Streep. The Devil Wears Prada. Oh God, she's
right.
amazing in everything. She's amazing. Viola Davis is that for me because she looks like me. My
Mm.
first introduction of really being like, who is that on screen was Antoine Fisher. When
Ah,
he went,
yes.
when he went there to see his mom, and she was sitting there, and he was just going off, and she didn't say one word on that sofa, but yet she said so much, and that tear was going down her eye. I was like, who is that? Who? Rewind? Huh? I couldn't wait. I was like, oh my God, who is this? Like, that for me was like, she's an actor. She's a thespian. She's been doing this. That was power sitting there, just
Mm.
taking everything he's saying and not saying anything. And there was that moment he was going on, and that tears going down, and she's just, whoo. And then later on, she came back and said, that was just a day roll for her, or a couple of days, and she got paid like $600 or something, to do that, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but see, we didn't know her really at that time for real, to the point where you go back and look at her body of work, and it's like, oh my God, that's all you got paid, but you're the Viola Davis. But she had already been that. But that's why she could lend her artistry to that character in such a way that just was insanely beautiful to watch. I mean, it was just brilliant. So for me, I'm like, but that's me. Like, I think because my background is in sports, I played softball for 10 years. I was a dancer. I've done volleyball. I ran track. Hello. I got like scholarships in track. I forgot about track, whatever. Scholarships in track. Like, I've always, there's a certain mindset that comes along with an athlete, right? Like, you,
Right.
as an athlete, it's like, I want to beat you at your best. Right? It's like, you go up against the next team, you make it to the championship. You don't want the team to be horrible. Sure, you want to beat them, but it's like, it's a brawl. If it's like, you get a point, I get a point. You got a touchdown, we fighting for this. Like, that's what it's about, right? We're both giving our all. So that's for me. I'm like, that's why when I'm in scenes with people that are like, ooh, this is such and such, I'm like, yes, I'm excited. I want to do it because I've prayed for this. I've labored for this. I've cried for this. I've called out for this. I've lived in gratitude for this. I've manifested this. So now that I'm in this space and in this moment, I gotta own it. I gotta be grateful for it. I gotta be ready. I gotta be prepared for it. So that way, when I show up on set, it don't matter what the director throw at me. It don't matter what the actor throw at me. I'm beyond ready because I know this character and I'm embodying who she is.
Right.
So, that's why I say Viola Davis, I'm like, she is like the pinnacle for me. So to be in a scene with her and we in this thing, like, come on, baby, where you at, BD?
I
What?
love that for you.
Ugh,
I
so
love
great.
that for you. And I can't wait till the moment it comes and when it's
Mm,
not just no more an intention, it's more of it's a reality.
come
And
on.
I'm so excited
The
that
dream is
you're
real.
intentional. Yeah, the dream is real.
Hmm.
The dream is
Hmm.
intentional, and next step is reality. So it's a matter of when at this point. It's a matter of
Exactly.
when, which I love
I
for
say
you.
the dream is real because you know the name of my company. You
Yeah,
know
of
the name of my
course.
company is
I
The Dream
know,
is
but
Real. I know.
let the
I know.
people know.
That was a saying of mine forever. I would be like, yo, the dream is real. Every time I used to post, this was like forever ago, back when Facebook was big. I want to say even pre, Instagram or something. But anything that don't work, I'd be like, the dream is real. Da 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 da. Hashtag the dream is real. So every people would come up to me and be like, hey man, the dream is real. Like, I'm like, the dream is real. And then when it would come to fruition, I would then post the dream is reality because now it's here, right? And then I would
Yeah.
talk about different things. So that's why when it came down to naming my company, it was like the dream is real. So anytime I say the name of my company, they'll be like, people are like, oh wow, that's pretty dope. I'm like, yep, the dream is real. And so because my dreams become my reality, become real. So I appreciate you saying it in that way because I'm like, yes, that dream will then become a reality, which is
Yeah.
completely what I represent. So come on, Maja, you better speak to me, girl.
It's my job. It is literally my job. No, I think people take speaking for life for granted. To
Mhm.
honestly, like to be honest and to just be open and expressive as artists, it's very rare. I feel like when it comes to being in this industry, and of course, it's funny for me to look back because giving context for our audience and viewers, I reached out to you prior to knowing you and crossing your path multiple times back in 2023, maybe 2024, kind of just evolving this platform to say the
Mhm.
least. And now to have met you in a similar virtual setting, to
That's
meet you
crazy.
again that same week at a workshop and just being
Right.
like,
Yeah.
all right, let me talk and introduce myself again and just be like, hey, what's going on? And then even till then and reflecting to now, like I say it's my job, but I think it's an assignment. I think that's something that
Mm,
we need to do. And it's an assignment on my heart to do and why I
wow.
curated Aspire to Inspire. So speaking life, that's not my job. That's my life. That's what I'm supposed to be
Mm,
doing. You know
come
what I
on.
mean?
I
But
love that.
oh, thank you so much. That was in
Yeah.
my spirit to say. But we all been talking for an hour, and I
Oh my God.
honestly I'm grateful because I'm just grateful to hear from you and hear your journey yet again. And for folks who are listening, I know and I can recall even just within the hour of us talking, so many gems and inspiration that you've
Hmm.
shared thus far, and the importance of mindset, the importance of intention, and for the dream to be real. The dream is real because
Right.
we've set our mindset to do so. So, my
Hmm.
final question for you, Taja, here at Aspire to Inspire, we have a desire to use our platform to inspire others. So,
Hmm.
Taja V. Simpson,
Mm.
how do you desire to use your platform to inspire those around you?
By continuously living out loud. I believe it's important to be your authentic self. And I say that, I know that's kind of buzzworthy right now, but I say that especially for myself because I didn't always do that publicly. I would only do just enough, right? Just because it was like, oh, I don't know if I want to say that like that. Oh, I don't know if that's going to be perceived, or oh, I don't know,
Yeah.
and then you grow and you evolve and you become who it is that you are meant to be. And for me, that I had to be like, okay, that's too hard. I got to just be who I am 100%. And by doing that, that was the best decision for me.
Mm.
Um, and by living that life and living that life out loud in that way, I was able to truly manifest the life that I live now. And so it's so interesting when people tell me that I've inspired them in a work way or in a personal way, because I believe I'm living in my all. Like I have it all, whatever that means to you. I have it all. I have the career that I've desired, that I've dreamt of. I have the family that I've always wanted. I met an impeccable and amazing man who then became my husband. And then we have this amazing son. Like these are things that I desired from my life. I wanted to be lucky in love and lucky in life, as they say, using that little saying. Because the saying goes, if you're lucky in love, you can't be lucky in life. If you're lucky in life, you can't be lucky in love. That's the saying.
Right.
But in using that, I'm like, I don't believe in luck. I'm going to have it all. And this is my all. So if me living my true authentic self and living out loud, just being who I am, inspires others, then I've done my job. That's all I can do is just be who I am and allow that, how I live, how I speak, how I believe. When I speak out loud, even from the first platform that you and I met on, and that platform that we were on, and when I was speaking, when people were hitting me up after, like, wow, you said this, and wow, you said that, and how I was inspiring all these different people, that's just me finally being ready to, I would say, have the courage and be brave enough to tell my truth and live in
Yeah.
who I am. And that started when I wrote the book. And the name of the chapter in my book was oh shoot, where did it go? The Facade of I'm Okay is what it
Mm.
was. Women Who Shine, sorry, is the name of the book, and it's a compilation of 30 different women's stories, and we all put our different stories of how we've been able to like overcome different things. And mine ended up being the forward of the book, and it's called The Facade of I'm Okay, because I was living in this facade of like, oh, I'm okay, everything's good, I'm okay. But once I was able to get through all of that and work through my self love and work through all of who I am to become the woman that's in front of you today in this moment, I wasn't okay. And so now to be able to speak life into my life, death and life is in the power of the tongue, and those that eat the fruit thereof. So I had to ask myself, are you speaking life over your life, or are you speaking death over your life? You have to speak life. So my biggest takeaway I would want for your audience, as that listen to and aspire to inspire, let me inspire you to declare and decree over your life in all things. Don't allow life to happen to you. You happen to life. You can't say these different affirmations as just a little chant every now and again here and there. You can't write down your little things and there's no feeling. You have to believe that thing. Like when I get up in the morning and I have to get myself going, I can't listen to, I am this, I am that. That's great, but that doesn't rev up my engine. My engine, I got to get going. And I said I was going to put this on YouTube because I'm like, I couldn't find anything that was that would rev, because you have to build the momentum. It's the momentum that really allows that manifestation thing to come into life. The momentum precedes the manifestation. So in order to do that, I have to rev up my engine every day. In order to do that, I needed more energy. I couldn't do the monotone, mundane, I am. Those are fine, but I needed the ones that's like, I am great. I am worthy. I can do all things. I am happy. I love me. I adore who I am. I am enough. I needed, so I had to record myself doing this so I could hear this in the morning that wakes me up, that gets me going. And that's my rampage. So decide what you need to do for yourself to inspire yourself daily, to rampage yourself, to get that vibration going, to go in and conquer that day, each day, every day. Only you can do it. Nobody's stopping you but you. But if you fight for your limitations, you will win. So stop and be who you've been called to be.
Yes. Mic drop. Literally. Oh my goodness. Taja, you are beyond amazing. There's no other synonyms or words that I can describe how much of an impact you are going to be on this platform and those who are watching, but also to myself as well. You will forever have a fan in me, but also to any and everyone who comes in contact with you, for sure. But without further ado, this wraps episode 64 of Aspire to Inspire. Yeah, this has been a 2-year mark. 64 industry professionals have graced the screen, has been on this podcast, have been uploaded to YouTube, and we're not stopping here for sure.
Beautiful.
But Taja, I admire you, I adore you, and just thank you for agreeing to be a part of this platform and
Yes.
for just being authentically you. I applaud you for it, for sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This has been so great. I appreciate you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Of course. And as always, more interviews will be coming in the future. Definitely stay tuned. And until next time, peace and blessings, everyone.